Hey there Southern, welcome to another episode of Film Guy Reviews. I'm your film guy, Matthew Sinclair, and for today's episode, I will be covering the Oscars and giving you folks an in-depth look at the top categories. Who should win? Who will win? Will we be in for a surprise? Let's find out. Now the first category I will go into is Best Adapted Screenplay, and the nominees are American Sniper, The Imitation Game, Inherent Vice, The Theory of Everything, and Whiplash. Now this is a dodgy one, but in terms of who I want to win, I would go with Whiplash. Even though it is a slight victim of category fraud because it was only adapted from the short film the director made just so he could get the funding for Whiplash, I was still very happy it got recognized because I loved how within about the first 5-10 minutes of the film, writer-director Damien Chazelle gives us a great idea of what we're in for. And it could possibly win, even though The Theory of Everything did win at the BAFTAs over the heavily favored The Imitation Game, which some say could rebound. But of course they could shock the world and give it to Inherent Vice. That way Paul Thomas Anderson finally has his Oscar, and this is his 4th screenplay nomination, so they could get the sense that he's finally due, but small chance that'll happen, but we'll see. Anything's possible. So Whiplash, it would be my vote to win, but possibly The Imitation Game could win, or will win, but Inherent Vice might have a chance at an upset. Moving right along, our next category is Best Original Screenplay. The nominees are Birdman, Boyhood, Foxcatcher, The Grand Budapest Hotel, and Nightcrawler. Now this category boils down to both Birdman and The Grand Budapest Hotel. But between those two, my personal pick would be Birdman. Just because I loved how the writers incorporated many different themes like franchises, mental illness, family, ego, self-awareness, LA versus New York, a whole bunch of thematic material that they embodied through the main characters, and that way there's so much going on in a way that you wouldn't see it even though the camera's always in the actors' faces. Although The Grand Budapest Hotel also has a very colorful script that is pretty much a bunch of genres molded together, as it's a murder mystery, a period piece, and even a buddy film. Of course, the Academy could feel that The Grand Budapest Hotel will already be taken care of with the tech Oscars it's likely to win, which might give Birdman an edge, but either one of those two is likely to win, but Birdman would be my choice to win, but depending on how much they love Boyhood, it could easily swoop in and pull off the upset. Now our next category is Best Supporting Actress. The nominees are Patricia Arquette, Boyhood, Laura Dern, Wild, Keira Knightley, The Imitation Game, Emma Stone, Birdman, and Meryl Streep, Into the Woods. Now this award is certainly Patricia Arquette's to lose, and with good reason too, because I thought her performance in Boyhood was so authentic, it felt like I was watching a portrait of my own mother brought on screen. Although if I had a ballot, I would personally pick Emma Stone, just because I loved how seeing all the different dimensions to her character and how she would portray the role for both comedic and dramatic effect in the same scene. But if Emma Stone doesn't pull off the upset, and she has a small chance at that, then hey, she's young, and thankfully because of that she'll have more opportunities to win in the future. But Dern, Knightley, and Streep, their nominations might be the best they can do, so they'll have to fake their smiles once Arquette's name is called up on stage. Yeah, Arquette is more than likely to win, but Emma Stone will be my personal pick to win. Now, moving right along, our next category is Best Supporting Actor. The nominees are Robert Duvall, The Judge, Ethan Hawke, Boyhood, Edward Norton, Birdman, Mark Ruffalo, Foxcatcher, and J.K. Simmons, Whiplash. And we have yet another category with a lock to win, and that is J.K. Simmons, who would also be my vote to win for his unnerving portrayal of the main character's manipulative music instructor. But as much as I really want J.K. Simmons to win, I'll admit that I would welcome the idea of Edward Norton pulling off the upset. And he has a very decent shot too. One reason is this is his third nomination, and there are plenty that have vocally stated that he got robbed of an Oscar for American History X, and the Academy has been known to make their fair share of apologies in the past. And like his co-star Michael Keaton, Edward Norton has a comeback narrative. But as much as I loved Ethan Hawke and Mark Ruffalo's equally complex performances, and even though I thought Duvall was good in a film that I strongly disliked, they might have to say it's just nice to be nominated, because I think it's going to be Simmons's to lose, but with Norton having the likely shot at an upset. And I'm sure if Simmons does lose, a lot of fans of Whiplash will be like, not quite my tempo. Our next category is Best Actress. The nominees are Marion Cotillard, 2 Days, 1 Night, Felicity Jones, The Theory of Everything, Julianne Moore, Still Alice, Rosamund Pike, Gone Girl, and Reese Witherspoon, Wild. Now we have some very solid performances in this category. Because even though Felicity Jones, in my opinion, was given the standard supportive wife role, she still gave the role some much-needed complexity. And one of the announcements on nomination day that literally had me jumping up and down was hearing Marion Cotillard's name announced for her astonishing work in the foreign language film 2 Days, 1 Night. And it's wonderful to see Reese Witherspoon return to form for her most three-dimensional work to date in Wild. However, this looks to be Julianne Moore's year. One reason is that her performance in Still Alice is fantastic, and after 4 previous losses, she looks to finally be getting her due. But while Moore would be richly deserved, personally I would pick Rosamund Pike to win. Could she win? Probably small chance, but then again, more of us have seen Gone Girl than Still Alice, so that could give her a kick to win, but we'll see. I wouldn't bet on it, but I would be ecstatic if that happened. Because I would even be ecstatic if Moore won, which she's likely to, but I would pick Rosamund Pike to win and pull off the upset. Moving right along, our next category is Best Actor. And the nominees are Steve Carell, Foxcatcher, Bradley Cooper, American Sniper, Benedict Cumberbatch, The Imitation Game, Michael Keaton, Birdman, and Eddie Redmayne for The Theory of Everything. Now this, I would say, is a stacked category. I think Best Actor this year was so packed that even Jake Gyllenhaal ended up missing out for Nightcrawler. However, the category is pretty much a battle between Michael Keaton and Eddie Redmayne. But while I do think Redmayne was fantastic in Theory of Everything, and it's a performance I can respect because of the physical and emotional commitment he brought to the role, my choice would be, hands down, Michael Keaton. And not only because I thought he gave the performance of his career in Birdman, but he gave what could be the performance of a lifetime. But I think what might give Keaton an edge is his veteran status, and also he's like Edward Norton, he's making a comeback, and he's a bit more famous than Eddie Redmayne, who is quite young and with plenty of acting years left in him, which might be a strike against him, both that and Jupiter Ascending. But although Bradley Cooper, I think, has a very good chance at an upset, one reason is that this is his 3rd acting nomination in a row. And American Sniper is making a killing at the box office, and because it has 6 nominations, they may decide to try and reward it somewhere. So we could see Cooper, if anyone's going to surprise, it will more than likely be Cooper. But I'm sensing either Redmayne or Keaton is likely to win, but I think Keaton should win, but we could very well see Cooper pull off the upset. And if Cooper were to upset, then I certainly wouldn't put it past him, because like Keaton, I think Cooper also does career best work in American Snipers. It's a very close race. Now on to our second to last category, Best Director. The nominees are Alejandro González Iñárritu for Birdman, Richard Linklater, Boyhood, Bennett Miller, Foxcatcher, Wes Anderson for The Grand Budapest Hotel, and Morton Tildum for The Imitation Game. This is a pretty good category, but it boils down to both, it's a battle between Iñárritu and Linklater. While those two are marvelous directing efforts, if I had to choose, I would choose Linklater. One reason is how he directed it, by how he not only focused on the main character story, but focused on the family dynamic as a whole and gave the 12-year story a rather natural flow. And another reason is how his long effort and commitment to the project really paid off after the million things that could have gone wrong. And I think partially because of that, he is ultimately deserving of the gold. But Anderson is more likely to win Screenplay, and Miller and Tildum should just be happy they get to go to the ceremony, I think. But Iñárritu does have a strong chance at winning, as well as Linklater, but between those two, I would give Linklater the win. And now on to our last category, Best Picture. The nominees are American Sniper, Birdman, Boyhood, The Grand Budapest Hotel, The Imitation Game, Selma, The Theory of Everything, and Whiplash. I was very pleased that my top 3 favorite movies of the year, Birdman, Boyhood, and Whiplash, made it on here. And The Grand Budapest Hotel is also a welcome addition, as they were able to recognize not only something different, but something that came out in March. And I might be in the minority on this, but I wasn't too peeved that American Sniper got in, because while it didn't crack my top 10, it at least got an emotional reaction out of me. And the other 3 I can honestly take or leave, because while The Imitation Game, Selma, and Theory of Everything are very solid movies, they're kind of been there, done that. Anyhow, in terms of who I think will win, it might be between either Birdman or Boyhood. Now between those two, I would pick Birdman, which I think might be seen as the front runner because it won 3 important Guild Awards: Best Film at the Producers Guild, Best Ensemble at the Screen Actors Guild, and Best Director at the Directors Guild. And people in those guilds are voters in the Academy, and actors make up the biggest voting branch. So I think that is what gives Birdman the edge. And the fact that it's a movie about show business, so voters could easily connect to it. But of course, Boyhood also won its fair share of important Best Film awards. And they could want to reward this 12-year, this record-breaking landmark of cinema. But I think Whiplash could also upset, because like Birdman, it's a movie about being an artist. But although I would watch out for American Sniper and Selma, I think if anyone's gonna derail Birdman or Boyhood, it could be Whiplash or The Grand Budapest Hotel, because it's tied with Birdman with the most nominations. So the Academy is was pretty enamored with it. So my final prediction for Best Picture was Birdman is likely to win and would be my vote to win. Although if Boyhood also wins, I'd be just as enthused. But we could easily see Whiplash or Grand Budapest, or possibly, not betting on it, but possibly American Sniper or Selma pulling off an upset. Okay, so those are my final predictions for the major Oscar nominations, and good luck to all the nominees on February 22nd, and hopefully you guys will we'll all be able to tune in on February 22nd at 8 p.m. and we'll get to watch Neil Patrick Harris host The Big Show. And if you want to catch my full coverage of the Oscars alongside anything else related to film, please be sure to check out my website, www.filmguyreviews.blogspot.com. And this is Matt Sinclair of Film Guy Reviews signing off. Stay classy, and once again, good luck to all the nominees.